Hello and welcome to Andy and Katie's Allotment. I'm Andy, as you know, and welcome to our December allotment tour. Even though we're sort of quickly heading towards the end of the year, still quite a lot been done over the last few weeks, and just going to take you around the allotment and show you what we've been doing. So as always, take a quick look at the compost and off we go. So as you can see, the compost heap's not changed at all, still there. The other thing you might notice is that certainly the one on the left there, the bay on the left, has come down quite a lot in height. So obviously the raw material inside is rotting down nicely. Then, as you can see, if you look closely, and for those of you who have followed what we've been doing, you can see that there's quite a few more beds. There's one right up closest to the camera on the right hand side. That's a relatively new one, and the long thin one there, I've put some posts in there, knocked some posts in there, ready to put some support beams across for peas and for beans. So that's where they're going to go. If we move further down, we'll start to see where the things have changed quite a lot. So I apologise for the wind, it is quite windy here. You'll probably be able to see as well that there's quite a lot of standing water on the allotment. We've had a couple of days really of really constant rain, more or less, and yeah, left us with some puddles. So looking now, one of the bay furthest away on the left there has been there for some time now. I put some old compost bags on the floor there just to make a path between the two. That's a new one on the right hand side, as is the one at the front. So we've got one furthest away, that's a new one, and I've just laid a little bit of compost. It was some ground that I exposed when I pulled up some old ground sheet, and so I've just put some compost on just to give it a surface mulching, and then that will be ready for planting next year. If we move round, you can see lots of green shoots sticking up there. Yes, some of those are the odd ones that are weeds, but the vast majority, if we go in a bit closer, you can see the brown onions, the sets that I planted quite a few weeks ago now, a month or so. You can see that nearly all of them are sprouting now, and it's all looking quite good. Moving to the next bed. This is just starting to take shape at this end, which are the red onions. So you can see the odd one is now starting to sprout, if you look closely. But for some reason the red onions don't seem to have taken off in the same way as the brown. What I've also got there is the red onions romping away nicely now, that have been there since sort of September, October time, when I planted them from some pots that I got from the garden centre. A little surprise that I've got there is most of you will be able to recognise that as rhubarb. That started growing in the middle of that bed. Obviously I didn't plant that, but I'm not going to stand in the way of it. I'm not going to change it. I'm just going to let it grow. That's just started to push its way through the last couple of weeks, really. I noticed it, but as I say, it's an added bonus, an extra thing to harvest. Moving to the end of the bed, there is the garlic, which is still coming through nicely. I'm not so sure about the ones that I planted a bit later to the top of the screen, to the right of the screen. They don't seem to have come up in the same way. Maybe I planted them too late. Maybe they don't know, just got maybe too damp and they've rotted or something. Doesn't seem to be quite right with that. But time will tell. But I will get some, obviously, from the garlic that you can see. Moving down, you'll hear me squelching through the water. This is another what kind of new bed. A bit there to the top was already there, and that was going to be a salad bed. Just a small bit. You can see the bits with the straw in it. That was going to be the salad bed, but I had some cardboard that really wasn't doing a lot at the back of the allotment. So what I decided to do is move it and expand this bed and make it a bigger one. This is now going to be the brassica bed. So I'm going to put some brassicas in there. Or even, I might even change it to potatoes, I'll see. Because obviously there's plenty of room in there, so I could do potatoes. Because now I've got these extra beds, I can probably do half of that bed first earlies, half of that bed second earlies. So if we move over to this side, so looking very muddy and boggy, but you can see the difference between a bed that's been dug, which is what I did here, just to try and get rid of some of the weeds. I just did it as a bit of a trial, really, more than anything. And you can see that without the aid of the compost and the keeping of the firmness of the soil, it doesn't drain the same. Just doesn't drain the same. I think I'm going to have to put some compost or some mulch over there before I plant into it. Because I think what I'm going to put in there is I'm going to do main crop potatoes. So I'm going to do it the old-fashioned way for these ones, and dig a trench, or two trenches, and do main crop potatoes. So hopefully I'll be able to do first earlies, second earlies, and main crop potatoes. So as I say, that's just an illustration of how much, because if you noticed, all the beds weren't flooded where it was before. It was the paths, but this one, as you can see, it's a different story. So yeah, interesting to see. All the water butts are really full, really nice and full now. Something I'm a bit concerned about, if I'm honest, is the pond. Yes, it's had a lot of water in it from all the rain, but it's just looking a bit, I don't know, sorry for itself, I suppose. Maybe that's just, I've not had a pond before, so I'm not really an expert at all, or I'm not an expert at all. But maybe it's just the time of year, and maybe it'll you know, perk up in the spring. So I don't know that I mentioned before, but when I built the pond, I did put some spring flowering bulbs around the edge. So hopefully they will start to emerge. I don't know, after Christmas, January, February time. Maybe start to come up, because the ones in the bed that I made at at the other end of the allotment that I didn't mention as we started. I did put a load of spring bulbs in a small bed, and they're starting to come through. There's some daffodils starting to pop their heads through the soil already. Hopefully they won't get too badly frosted. If we turn our attention now to the apple trees, so there's a nice sky behind there, but these apple trees obviously now no leaves at all. I think this will be my next, or one of the next projects that I have, and prune them back. You can see that a lot of the branches are very, very close together, and something that I've been told and learned is that they need to have a circulation of air through. So I'm going to take some of the crowded branches out, just leaving the main stems or the main branches for the fruit to grow. But they're I think they're quite old. They do look quite old and gnarled, particularly the one on the right there. So you know, that I think they will benefit from some attention. So if we move to the back of the allotment, so this bit's changed a little bit. I did have a lot of wooden fencing there, was where the dead grass is there, to make a bed. I've moved that over just to expose that grass. I'm not sure whether that was the right place to put a bed, so I've exposed that bit of grass again. And the other side, so that's where I got the cardboard from. It really wasn't doing a lot, if I'm honest. It was just covering that area of grass there, but I really don't think that I'm going to get to cultivating this part of the allotment that much next year, because I really want to just concentrate on getting my the other part that we've just looked at up and running, and you know, get my knowledge increased, so that when I get this part up and running, you know, I'm not biting off more than I can chew. So looking down the allotment, you see all the black plastic still there, which I'm pleased that it's not blown away. And walking through all this brambly area, or where the brambles used to be anyway, there's still some bits and bobs that are needing strimming. I think I'm going to have to get a big strimmer down here at some point to stop them from growing back again next year, and undoing all the work that I've already done. So this bit's a bit boggy as well. Got some water down here. When we get to the end, so what I've done is I've now cleared from the November tour. I've cleared this side, and then I've gone round the back and cleared the other side. So now what we've got is just this row of bramble bushes, or blackberry bushes, down the middle. So I'm going to leave this, as I said, for two reasons: one for the fruit, and one as wildlife habitat, because I think it's quite thick and dense. Well, it is thick and dense because I know that from when I cleared the other two sides, and I think a lot of you know, animals, insects will use this as home. For those of you who haven't seen the really at the end, there's a ditch down there. It's difficult to see on video, but there's a ditch probably down 6 foot, to the bottom of it, and then there's a field. Wind's really getting up now, so if you can't hear me, I'll shout a little bit more just to get over the wind. But that's next door's field, the other side of the allotment. As I said, I'm not got to doing anything this side. But I wondered if anybody had any suggestions as to what you think I could do with this section. Something that I have mulled over and thought about doing is maybe some fruit trees. You know, some more apple trees, some younger apple trees, pears, plums, and making it a bit of an orchard. That might be quite nice, because at the end of the day I have got a lot of vegetable beds the other side, and you know, there's a limit to how many vegetables that you can eat in one season. So anybody that's got any suggestions, please feel free to send me a message, or do anything, you know, send me any suggestions on the messaging part of the on the bottom of the video, and I'll be more than happy to look, because as I say, I'm open to suggestions, maybe flowers, a wildlife area, as I say, rather than just another repeating what I've done on the opposite side, just a load more beds. I would like to do some more beds so I can expand my the number of vegetables that I'm going to grow, but maybe there's a limit, as I say, to how many that I need. So moving on from that, so this is Andy and Katie's allotment, and I would love you to subscribe if you've not already done so, if you like what we're doing and want to follow us what we're doing, and yeah, do subscribe, do share what we're doing with other people so that they can see. And it's really just, you know, somebody who's taken on an allotment for the first time really, and done some and trying to do something positive with the ground that we've got. So with that, this is the end of the December tour, so maybe I could take this opportunity to be one of the first people possibly to wish you a happy Christmas and a very prosperous 2020-24. So thank you very much, and say happy Christmas and happy gardening.